Hello, fellow humans. I was actually going to throw on my little flannel before I started this because after months, I was gonna say weeks, months of shooting in my sports bras, I was going through my fitness girly phase, like just work out, work, Aisha, right? When I got on the camera the last 2 days when I had my bra on, I was like, oh my God, I'm in my bra, I need to cover up. So something is evolving here. So I'm gonna start off with showing you guys, and please excuse my dishwasher running in the background, midday dishes. I started with turning on this, and I'm gonna run it back just so it doesn't go off in case I go into a ramble. I don't need this to go over 18 minutes. This will also keep me within my frame for this video so I can do the other ones I had to do for today. But I wanted to use the Reiki to find answers you're seeking. I was just gonna sync with it and see what popped up for the rest of the day. Like if I could get answers to stuff. Just because it's cool to try out different frequencies. I do this all the time, and I'm never not amazed by what comes through. So I'm passing that on to you guys. And this lady's cool. Like you can feel different energies from different videos. There are people who literally sit here and do like the Reiki videos with their hands and all that stuff, and no energy is coming out of them. You can feel the difference. This person is legit. But while we're under this, let me get to the reason I came to this computer. So I noticed that particularly up in here, I've been feeling very strong, very empowered lately, just on some other shit. I was just watching Perfect Match, which is like a reality dating show with my bestie daughter. And I was absolutely disgusted in the dynamics between male and females. Like if I could have walked in there on some girl shit and punch some of those dudes in the faces. And I'm not even usually a violent person. I don't fight at all. I fight with my words. But no, I just felt so much rage. And I made a post about something earlier. It's another female mentioned, like, hey, is this a rage I'm feeling? So I would like to take this opportunity to use this Reiki to find answers, right? To check into the masculine collective and the feminine collective. And then I'm going to do a what the pile. Because there is something going on for all of us. I was utterly disgusted by each and every dude. Like, I know it's a reality show here, right? But there's been like a wave. Is it like on purpose that they're making it look like there are no good guys out there? Has the number dropped drastically? Is nobody raising good sons anymore? I don't know. We're about to find out. What deck do I want to use for this? You know, we got this Dark Goddess deck, right? That's for like the strong, scary women energy, right? But there's no matching deck for guys for this. I find that very interesting. I don't think that esoteric stuff or any of the psychic stuff is strictly for females at all. I respect a good warlock. Although I hate it that when I think of like a really great spiritual guy who's like in his pocket doing his thing, that suddenly the idea of like somebody exploiting people for sex pops in my head. So let me see. What do I? I'm gonna go with the Marvel deck for guys. Let's do this. So I'm gonna pull first from what is going on with the feminine, then I'm gonna pull the masculine, and then I'm gonna pull the in between, and then I'm gonna flip them all together so I can just have a mix. So what is going on within the feminine collective in regards to their connection to the masculine? Because I don't even feel like this is just applying to people who are in, or I'm sorry, to single people. It's applying to people who that are in relationships too. Maybe after all of these years of Venus versus Mars, we're finally coming to like a point. And in my mind, I'm seeing like the Barbie movie. The Barbie movie pops up a lot now that it's been in like put in my Rolodex. But the dynamics between Ken and Barbie, and all the Kens just wanted their Barbie back. It was just like by any means, regardless of how she felt though. That's sort of what I was seeing on the show. I was seeing like the guys would lie or just say anything. Like they would swear up and down they'd be into a girl, like when they're in her face, but as soon as they're away, it's a whole nother ball game. Like poof. It's crazy. So what's going on within the divine masculine? I don't want to say divine. Hold on. Blue, 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 blue. This wouldn't happen if there were more divine masculines. What's going on in the masculine collective in connection to the feminine energies. Dear God, these sons that you sent ain't sunning. I wonder if that's why there's a male loneliness epidemic. Have you ever heard of like a female disempowerment epidemic? Because that's been going on for a very long time. No, they call that suffrage when women couldn't vote and had no right or nothing. It's not an epidemic. Y'all are just like going through it. Whatever. Y'all are just dealing with it. Can y'all see? Tell them on my salt bay today. I'm actually getting that I need to use this repair evolution growth for the commonality. So what do I need to know about these two piles? What do I need to know about these two piles and what's been going on right now? Spades, throwing them out in fours like this. But 444. That's what I ended up with, 4 for each. So starting with the feminine. Boom. Off top. So Fortune, Fortuna, the goddess Fortuna, right? But fate is number one. I'll show y'all the cards first. Abuse, which is not so ironically the goddess Ran. As Ruli, which is Venus in Haitian, but she's prosperity. And control, which is Tiamat. So it was always predicted, is what I'm getting here, that this point in our evolution would occur when the tables would flip, where females would go from this, right, to this. Prosperity and control. So the scale is flipping back into the side of females. Like there was an era at the beginning of COVID, I believe, where there was a trend in all the movies, like it was being implanted in there. The future is female. There were even like a couple of music videos where they showed the future, but women were in power. That's what this just said to me. That women are starting to flip into their masculine energy some. Because that's what this feels like. Tiamat, the dragon goddess. But that control is like taking back their power, taking back their money, taking back their independence. Like, I don't need a man pussycat dolls just started playing in my head. That would explain the epidemic. But you can only keep somebody down for so long before they're completely disgusted. And this is not even like women are like deciding they're going gay and the numbers are going to go up there. No, this is women who would rather be alone and just hang out with other boss baddie chicks and be great and get money than to deal with a dude. This is a big shift. Could you imagine if all the girls started walking around with t-shirts like no pussy here? Like there's none available. Because I mean, technically, that's why all the other Kens were sort of like, hey, we don't care if y'all like it or not. Like y'all got something we need. That's how it started. And for a very long time, females didn't have a choice. Like even their fathers were selling them off. Once they realized that, hey, your daughter's worth something. You can get a farm, you can get a whole kingdom. You can use this to spread your empire. It doesn't matter what your daughter thinks. It's just a part of collateral damage. Isn't it nice to know, even though it took like hundreds or thousands of years, that something did change? Like femininity isn't going to be a camaraderie anymore. Let's see what's going on with the guys. Oh, the one time my alarm goes off at the good time. One day, all my alarms will make sense to me. And I'll be extremely excited. I feel it. And it has to do with this over here. It's a new way of thinking, a new way of carrying oneself. It feels like at one point, everybody was like, the females just looking out, trying to be demure, mindful, open, forgiving, and that was taken advantage of over and over again. Look, she done got scalped. She got snatched bald. It's a ponytail back there, but ain't no hair. Don't lost her edge just fucking with these niggas. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been trying not to cuss, but today it's not in me. I don't watch that daggone Perfect Match and upset myself. Between that and Nick Lachey's shirts. Like, God, come on. So, to the guys. Over here on the Marvel superhero deck, what is going on? Reverse, 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 reverse. Because they're all reverse, I'm going to assume I had the deck the wrong way. I'm going to flip them. But I'm so happy to see Judgment is here. Guys, it's Judgment like from the world though. It's like collectively, the girls had a meeting behind the scenes and all said, something needs to be changed, something needs to break. So we got the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands. Wands is action. I don't know which hero that is in the Marvel thing, but let's see. I am hearing though that masks are coming off, that like the masculine are being forced to reassess themselves in isolation until they can peel off their mask. Okay, so let's get this. Five of Wands. Okay, so it's telling a story. The Five of Wands is you're on fire. All your plans, blood, sweat, success, and tears have stoked your success. Everybody celebrates you. Controlled by thoughts and the mind of the wielder. This wand focuses, harnesses, and enhances energy. You put this to excellent use. Bask in your achievements and the adulation of others. Okay, that's their season where they were winning, right? The Seven of Wands. Others desire your success. The Seven of Wands says, competition is fierce, but so are you. Fight for what's yours. The ideas, beliefs, and dreams that propelled you. As a mortal, Thor, god of thunder, epitomizes a relentless, fierce fighter with courage. No matter the foe, tragedy, or challenge, with inner and outer strength, stand firm and stand up for yourself and your achievements. Those two cards came before the Judgment in the world. So winning so much made a bunch of losers. Is how I would translate that. That's why the shift is happening. Some humility needs to happen on one side, while some empowerment needs to happen on the other side. Has anybody noticed any humbling of males societally and empowerment being given back to the women? Is this already in progress? The shift has already started. I would have the shift was supposed to start with the presidential thing that just occurred, but that was finesse. I'm not sure if that was finesse behind the scenes with some like political stuff, like oh, ain't no woman gonna be president, or it was something that was done magically. But either way, that did not go how it was supposed to go. I do these cards more than 100 times a year for people, all the time, and I don't ever have anybody come back and say, "Girl, you was wrong." That has not happened yet. I did them cards and it said that woman was supposed to win. But when I was doing it, I was like, something feels off. Something's wrong. Something is like, if this gets screwed over, like a whole bunch of fallout's going to happen. And we've been watching the fallout ever since. That was not how it's supposed to go. This was supposed to be leaning in to feminine energy going forward. Because how many other countries suddenly put their first woman in power? Like there were some Hispanic countries, some African countries where a woman finally got put into place. Let's see what these repair cards say, guys. Okay, I'll take that because we want fairness. We want couples. I love love. I don't like when love is abused. I don't like what is taken for granted. And that's what I've been seeing, like a whole bunch of women that are forgiven or forgiving. And then a whole bunch of guys who recognize that their women are forgiving. And then they just take that for granted. There's a Summer Walker song for this. The heart of a woman. And the chorus is like, the only thing saving you is the heart of a woman. For real. It's the love, it's the grace, it's the understanding. Otherwise, could you imagine a world where the guys had to deal with each other all the time? How very barbaric that would be. So, childhood wounds are what's being pulled up right now. And this is on both ends, guys. Just on the females, it's supposed to, or the feminine energy, looking at your childhood wounds so you can heal is meant to be giving you your power back. Like, dang, when did I start this chasing behavior? Oh, because I felt abandoned during this age, or whenever my mom got a boyfriend, she was no longer interested in me. So therefore, I started thinking like I had to be A, B, C, or D, or that everybody would always abandon me. That's the sort of energy that I'm getting for the females. It's healing a childhood wound so you can go forth more empowered and be like, I don't care if I get left. I will leave you before you leave me if I'm being treated wrong, right? The same childhood wound energy is being broken down in the masculines too, but it feels more like, why am I afraid of love? Why am I hiding behind a mask? That's what this, my mask of achievement. You were so successful in everything else that you didn't feel like love was a priority until all you had was the stuff that you had. The stuff that you have. All they gained was material. But the world is all collectively giving it a thumbs down. So there will be a disbursement of materials too. Isn't it? Wouldn't it be weird if a whole bunch of like rich guys suddenly died and all their women, all their wives ended up with the money? That would make a big shift too. Anything can happen. So the childhood wounds that are being healed for the guys are meant to make them better people. Like the stuff they wouldn't, the things that they did not consider issues because they were all emotional are going to come up with nowhere for them to run to heal except for inside. Money and status won't comfort them anymore and it won't really matter. It's like they've been using their outer shell of what they're earning in order to avoid having to work on themselves as people. Like, yeah, I got money. This one doesn't want me, another one does. That's the energy here. That's not going to be the case anymore. Because imagine if there was a world where the woman had money too. They don't need you for your money. You actually got to have a nice personality. You got to be a kind person. You have to be decent. Not to say, two things can be true. It's wrong if you're a female that's only looking for a provider, only looking for somebody with money, and you're willing to let them treat you wrong just because they got money. That's completely wrong too. You're getting what you deserve because you are only with them because of that. Right? That's a completely different scenario. I'm talking about somebody that genuinely loves you and would not care if you had a dime and you just treat them wrong because you got money and you can find somebody else. Going forth, finances and that provider thing is not going to be the thing that is allowing them to sort of wield their hands over the whole world. If the playing field is even, what do you bring to the table? Because the next card was new beginnings. New beginnings, there's a heart transformation, and love's about to be redefined. What it takes to be loved is vulnerability going forward. Like the feminines, as they step into their power, imagine if every woman can actually see your soul. Now, some women are trash, bottom line. Just like there's some dudes trash. There's some good dudes, and they're like, and some of this stuff won't apply. If you are a person that is a good dude and you get this childhood wound that comes up, it's just going to help you dig through what you already been digging through, trying to define yourself. But if you are a person that has been avoiding anything because you think it doesn't matter, get money, fuck bitches, this is going to hurt. That's me stabbing. It's going to hurt because whatever you were using to hold yourself up on a pedestal will not be holding you there anymore. Imagine you see a beautiful woman and you're like, yeah, I got this. And you send like a bottle over to her table and she sends one back to you like, I see you, player. Things are being balanced. That just made me feel so happy. I got into this so mad just watching the people on this show, and like I hate to see love abused. I hate to see the idea of love. That is not love. And so many people are quitting and giving up just because they're pairing up with people who simply want to take from their honey jar. Imagine somebody lying to you, kicking in your face, having fake intimate moments, and it's just because they want to get in your pants, and then they'll go do the same thing to somebody else and somebody else and somebody else. There was no accountability, and it was becoming rampant, is what I'm getting here. So, what is the closing message I need to share here? What is the closing message I need to share here for both genders, for all of us as a collective? Oh, there was a song that started playing in my head, and I was hearing it. It was like no, it didn't sound like that bad. But I'm like, what is that? I, I got the power. It was old because it was. I can't even do it right. I can't do songs, but I got the power. The shift is happened. The ascent. The only way you ascend is when you clear out the old stuff holding you back. I think the ladies have been getting it together since Beyonce said get information. They have been doing the work. They have been pulling through this. And this is not all ladies. You know the difference. There's good and bad on both sides. I want to emphasize that. I don't want to offend anybody. But the bad ones, the bad seeds, are throwing off everything. How much love do you see on the television that's real love? How much do you see in real life that's real love? And if that's not a good way for you to recognize what's going on here, what do you hear in the music? When is the last time you heard like a real love song? One that made you go like, shoot, I don't know if I heard anything since Ed Sheeran that really like stuck out. Either way, in general, you can tell how we're doing in that department through the film and the music and what's popular. Right now, dating apps are more popular than weddings. There's even like a, what is it, like a shortage of people creating children. I mean, things are going pretty bad financially around here, just worldwide. It looks like a mess. But that means that people are just not sleeping together anymore, or they're aborting the babies. Either way, none of this is indicative of love. So the guys are being forced into their positions as kings. Even if that means the guy got to knock down your castle for you to say, okay, something needs to be created that's stronger than just a castle. Maybe I needed a queen. Maybe I didn't know. But then here we got an architect, somebody having to rebuild after their empires come down. Didn't I say they're going to have to rebuild? This goes with that new beginning. The whole foundation, the whole blueprint I'm getting. And that's what this is. The Akashic field. This is the raw data of the whole universe, right? That energy is having to be used to rewrite the whole Venus versus Mars dynamic. A new blueprint for relationships needs to come into play, or is coming into play. One that is high vibrational. And this is probably where I was slipping into that divine energy. I was jumping ahead. Focus thing. I was jumping ahead. Now, this says, for the record, high vibration transformation. You have chosen to step into a higher vibration that is in alignment with your soul path and higher knowing. You now have the awareness that you are limitless and ready for transformation. So, some people, you will see get worse. And this is on both sides, because some people don't overcome this childhood wound thing, right? Where that's getting cleared. And then some people you were going to see turned into the best versions of themselves that was like they couldn't have even seen or imagined that they would turn to these people in the future. Like a bunch of people were scared to look in their closet at their skeletons because of what they thought they would see or what they thought they couldn't handle emotionally, only to recognize that sometimes when you look back, it becomes clearer. What you were afraid of, like that boogeyman in the closet, you go back and you look, and then you realize, like, hold on, that was a sock puppet. I was scared of a freaking sock puppet. I was little. They used to scare my ass with the Crypt Keeper. Every time I hear that music, I'd be tore up, horrified. Like, please. And he used to show up on the box, the music channel. By the time I was about 7 or 8, I was looking for him on my own. Like, where's the Crypt Keeper? He tells the best stories. That's what's supposed to happen with shadow work and healing. What used to scare you won't scare you. The parts of yourself that you used to think were unlovable, you will embrace. Like, some girls are sexy and suave and they have like a certain air about them. I'm goofy. And for a long time, I just felt like out of place because, like, what? Funny girl. You get pegged in a corner. Like, everybody wants you around all the time. It's because you make everybody laugh. It doesn't necessarily make you feel like love material. So you're just like, babe, bang. At the end of the world, do you want a sexy bitch with no personality? Or you want a he in your bunker? So, I mean, find the silver lining to the parts of yourself that maybe weren't embraced. And this is for both collectives because our fear of our own shadows, that's what I sensed all the way through. The fear of the feminine shadow is what caused her, let me refer to it as a whole, to allow itself to be abused and undervalued. The shadow and the masculine is what made them feel like the only way they were worth anything is if they had something for collateral, because it became a trade system. There could have been a lot of good guys who couldn't get a girl because they were a pauper instead of a prince, or they didn't have enough money to purchase their bride. Like, wasn't that once upon a time? The evil queen was in love with her stableman or something, and her parents were like, yeah, can't marry him. You only marry a king. And then that just caused the whole kingdom to get cursed. Love got turned into a financial thing. Energetically, it was no longer love. It got turned into a business deal. That's what's being reset. Sometimes, in most cases, how about this? You get lucky and this is the perfect person for you because you saw him on first sight and it was great and it's all that. But in most cases, the person you end up with, the one that is exactly what you need, is not what you would have pictured ever in the first place, unless you were fully aware of yourself. And then when you met the person and you had a conversation, you're like, damn, I had been looking for this, but then I found you. I'm like, that is a perfect match. But you can only do that perfect match thing and not just judge somebody superficially or date somebody based on what they look like if you know yourself inside and out. If you know you're the type of person that a pretty face is only going to last me 2 weeks before I get bored looking for another pretty face, as opposed to a beautiful soul is going to captivate my attention forever. You have to know yourself well enough for you not to get pulled into the tides of what's popular and the falsehood of love, because nothing that we are witnessing right now. There's a word I'm missing here. Love is not transactional, guys. That's what it is. Love is transactional lately. It's like, oh, I need this, you have this, let's get together. Love hits you like a bolt. Like, you know that moment in Clueless when Cher is like distressed and she don't know what's wrong, and then suddenly she walks by the fountain and she's like, I love Josh. That's, although a strange example, that's how love hits you. It's uncontrollable. You can't like pick and choose like, yeah, that person's hot. Gonna make that work with them just based off of what they look like. Because inside can be nothing like that. And inevitably, these bodies are vehicles, but the soul is the thing that is seeking growth and completion here. Skin deep will never fulfill someone who is soul wise, soul aware, in touch with their soul. And there's been a huge disconnection on both ends. So I am happy, even though this was uncomfortable, it was much needed. It's like, where's the rage coming here? It's from centuries of oppression and finally having that power released in order for balance to come back into play. And then the loneliness epidemic is to help the guys understand maybe you need the people that you were treating as though they were expendable. Looking forward to your feedback, guys.